KaiserOst series, and in this video, the alliance that was leading the world falls in two, which has happened before multiple times. South Africa leaves the alliance, blue side is the side that didn't rebel. Anything that's blue decide not to rebel. But since rebels always have the first advantage, well, we'll give them it. Well, in South America, they need to get their troops there, but the rebels already have their troops, and all the rebels want to be nations. Well, in this area, the rebels are winning. Other front, they managed to take the lead over here and here. And well, they quickly move into those nations. And on this side, they're the ones able to conquer. But the rest of the nations that aren't occupied much, like Chile decides to switch sides, Ecuador, Colombia, these southern areas, this area. Well, this area falls. Areas that didn't switch sides have already fallen. But, like, there's a reason they succeeded here. None of the nations. They didn't get forces there fast enough. Whereas in this front line, the reaction is they get pushed back. Fast. Because they don't really have the strength. And one of the problems that's faced by the opposing side is that they don't really have as much strength. With these two puppets deciding to side with them, but they get pushed back. They may have thought there was a good timing to rebel, but like their rebellion fails, as these two nations are the ones with all the strength. And apparently, yeah, that's it. And in the front line, well, they're the first to start losing territory in Anatolia. Anatolian region is losing territory, with it only being slow at first. With this nation deciding to launch a march down, and they managed to take this. With them having a landing over here, and all these islands that didn't get colored in, they start doing really well against. And they land here with most of the rebels not being very organized. Surrenders happen quick. And then this nation here just leaves after it's offered that as a choice. Well, they may have learned their lesson, as their front lines over here crumble pretty fast, mostly because of their bad strategies. Well, they start holding back. Well, this is what the front line ends up like. And a stalemate starts. Why did the stalemate start? Just because, well, everything's concentrated there. With them giving nation status to all the nations still on their side. Or ones that switched to their side. With this move being a power move, basically. To say, we the rebels have control over that area. With an offer to the Saudi Arabia puppet, an Afghan puppet lands if they switch sides. And so they decide to switch sides. And they start moving north. But what their big problem is, they get pushed back to here before a stalemate. And this one gets pushed off the map. Well, they manage to push back into Anatolia. Take some important areas. Also do that in their colony as they start pushing this nation back to the point where it surrenders. And this is good because they got all kinds of resources that's in that land. And well, The Kaiser Germany, which came back a few seasons ago, I think, is doing really well. With them holding on to Egypt. With them asking the Stan nations for permission to cross and through, which they give. End of these nations was going to happen at the beginning, but it took a long time. As they declare that once they finish with the New World, they're going to free everywhere. But nobody takes it too seriously. As they start their invasions. As they declare side with us, or it's over. They get these four nations. This nation and that nation in South California to side with them. As they start advancing fast, because a lot of the nations see this as an opportunity if they become free. Which leads to slowly they surrender. And if they haven't surrendered by now, well, they're able to take back occupied territory because they weren't able to get their troops to help these puppets rebel. They declare they won't surrender till Anatolia and the Mediterranean Sea falls. And they move up, with them leaving the war. Iran decides to continue as if it'll change, with them eventually crumbling. And that's all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Wild Mapper out, but not until you subscribe. Bye, guys!